All right, let's get some reaction on this and bring in political commentator Brigitte Morten. Brigitte, thanks for coming on with us tonight. Is there any merit in the Prime Minister saying, look, it's been a tough time for the country, any governing party would have been in trouble?
Yeah, I think there is some merit in that. We can see across the world that many parties who, govern through COVID are struggling. But I think that is really sort of pushing the issues of the day to the side. Without a doubt, the big number out of tonight's poll is that 77% of people that think the government is not doing enough on cost of living. And they can't sort of push that aside and say that's just, the tough part of, governing. That is pivotal to their role and something that they should be looking at doing something on.
OK, what about looking at National side now? They've seen a big jump. Is this the Luxon factor, or is it in fact just sending a message to Ardern and Labour?
I think there's two things here. The first is obviously there's a lot of people fed up with the government and their lack of action on many things. But also, there's people warming, I think, to Luxon. He was an unknown factor when he came into the job. People were starting to learn a little bit more about him, seeing what his views are on things. And I think people then are feeling more confident to place their support behind him. And
of course, he's taken some of that support from ACT as well, which has seen a bit of a drop. What do you put that down to?
Yeah, there's always going to be a bit of shuffling around. You see that on the left between Labour and the Greens, and of course on the right between ACT and National. That's a sort of a natural sort of process that happens, but without a doubt, both of those parties need to go up to give them a pathway to govern.
Well, of course, because the other factor is that even with National's growth and support, they still would need the Māori Party to get in behind them to help them govern. And they've said that they won't work with ACT. So Labour's still pretty safe, aren't they?
Well, I think they are in many ways, but of course, you're looking across at a Māori Party, Greens, Labour government. That's not going to be an easy government to have. And so I think, we can't rule out minor parties and then coming through. The Māori Party, they won that seat quite unexpectedly, which brought them in. We may see the same from another party come next year.
So you'd expect to see the minor parties, as we get closer to that reaction, to pick up, they usually do, don't they, pick up a bit of support?
Yeah, they do. And if you look at the Australian election happening at the moment, the independents are having, a lot of noise around them because there seems to be a bit of a switch off from the major parties and people are looking for something different. So that could happen here.
OK, speaking of what people are looking for, the budget's being announced in a couple of weeks' time. Is this a chance for Labour to pull things back?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you don't use the budget, that's an absolute wasted opportunity. I think it was clear today, though, that Grant Robertson announcing, those new spending and deficit rules, without a doubt, they're saying that they can't just sort of spend their way into support anymore like they could early on in the pandemic. So they've got to show that they're good fiscal managers and they've got a pathway to rebuild the economy.
OK, one to watch, definitely. Brigitte, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thanks.